Hello YouTube! So today we're going to talk about clothing systems. And it is just that. It is a system. The system gives you versatility. And the beginning of that system is the base layers. The base layers come in a few different types. The ones that you see on the left are wool. And it is socks, bottoms, and tops. There are other fabrics, capelline being one, proprietary to Patagonia, and other fabrics like that. The gray that you see there are capelline. In between the gray and the black is actually a new product that is a hybrid of both. It's wool and capelline in different areas where you want certain stuff to breathe. I'm still testing that. So far I like it, but we'll see as this winter goes. So you have your base layer, and that is the beginning. What you want your system to do is basically push moisture away from your body and control where the heat is. So the base layer pushes the moisture into the next level continues to push moisture out. On top of that, I have the orange shirt you see there is a synthetic fabric, and I wear that shirt over my bottom layer, which will add as another little bit of warmth and wind resistance, give some abrasion resistance, and then also help push the moisture out. Now, once you get outside of that system, you're going to start getting into your other areas. Socks, some pants. You still want to keep the breathability high. You want it to come through your base layers, into your mid layers, and out. Now on my legs, I've never really had to go with anything more than a base layer. If anything, I will double up base layers. I will wear wool under capelline for my bottom layers until you really get into serious mountain cold. You're not probably going to need much more than that. On top of that, as far as your top goes, which is your core, which is what you are typically wanting to really keep in control. If your core is warm and your head is warm, you will fluctuate that heat throughout your extremities. If your core is warm, the rest of your body will stay warm. You want to keep your core under control. Now, outside of that, which a lot of people typically overlook, is controlling wind. Wind can strip heat off of your body. So now with soft shell fabrics, it's a good, I don't know, almost outside layer, but it cuts wind, and which allows you to maintain your heat. Also, I really like these products. They're just a thin material with just windstopper on them for both my neck and my head. I find they make a tremendous difference. Once you get the wind cut off from affecting the back of your neck and your head, you really maintain a lot of heat. Also, as far as extremity, gloves are also something that you want to have versatility in. You want a thin glove that you can wear as you're moving and your body's producing heat. You want another glove to insulate as it gets colder or you slow down. And then I also believe in having an over mitt for your gloves to keep your hands warm. Even if it's just getting up and getting going, the more warmth you have in your hands, the more dexterity you have in your hands. Now after you get past that mid layer, or the layer that's helping you kind of stop the wind from cutting through, you want to get into a layer that's well, for a nut and fancy term, damn, you want an airspace. Now that can come in, depending on your situations, something like this Patagonia jacket that's a Primaloft jacket, which is a synthetic fabric and will work wet or not. As it gets saturated, obviously it's going to lose some loft, but as long as you maintain the loft in it and the airspace, it will warm you up. Now there's also down, which different levels. I prefer from about 700 and up, just for the puffiness. I don't want too much. Again, it maintains your core, and that core will keep the rest of your body warm. Now, in mountaineering, we wear that layer actually on the outside, typically, of our shell. Average person in most conditions, you can wear that on the inside. And then that brings us to the outer layer, the shell. And that shell, depending on the fabrics, again, you want it to be breathable. Again, you want your entire system to push moisture completely out of your body. And that moisture, as it leaves, will keep you from getting, cold at the end. If you get moving and you build up sweat and you stop moving and that sweat is still sitting on your body, it will bring your core temperature down very rapidly, especially if you throw wind into the mix, and then you're really bringing your temperature down at a high rate. So the outside layer, the final layer in the system, is a shell layer. So you still want that layer to be breathable. It's in fact extremely important that that outer layer is breathable so it doesn't sit on top of everything. Obviously, it keeps the wind out, it keeps moisture out, and rain, snow, and whatnot. I also believe in having gaiters, and a system that goes from head to toe, all the way across the board. If you keep the moisture out of your socks, keep the moisture out of your boots, it helps in the end to keep your feet from getting cold. Once your feet get wet and get cold, it can be very uncomfortable to say the least, but can be very damaging as far as your entire trip. If your feet go, you're out of there. You're not going to have a chance. As far as the types of products, I try and go with a little bit upper end on things. I find that you definitely get the value out of it in the end. Also, for me, my life depends on a lot of these products. Once I get out there, if they fail, I can be in certain jeopardy. Depending on your level, will depend on how important that is to you. But I do believe in the quality products, and I do believe you get your money out of them typically. The long underwear is a good example. The wool is an amazing product. It is expensive, and the durability is, quite frankly, not that great. But its functionality is superb. And as long as you take care of it, you will get a few years out of it. As far as the mid layers go, that's where you really want the most variety. Between several layers of fleece, the weights are generally 100 to 300, a million different variations within that. It's where you have the most control as far as maintaining your comfort level. The idea is, once you're moving, is to not sweat. Sweat is the enemy, as is moisture in most situations. And that's where you can control the most, is within that core. So having a large array of fleeces gives you the most versatility in your system. As far as insulating layers, they are typically light and fluffy and can be easily packed. And it's typically very much worth it to have at least a good upper. If your conditions get extremely low, then maybe a lower. But there we go. So there's kind of the clothing system in an overview. Versatility is extremely important. Conditions change rapidly and consistently, or constantly, more to the point. And you want to be able to react to any of those conditions. So there we go. So there's an overview of clothing systems. So thanks for watching. Get outdoors and make your own food.